that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, you know, they were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid. Somebody had to do what we did. And I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate. And that's what I did with China, because they didn't retaliate. A deal's going to be made with China. A deal's going to be made with every one of them. And there'll be fair deals. I just want fair. They will be fair deals for everybody. They weren't fair to the United States. They were sucking us dry, and you can't do that. Yeah, I saw last night where people were getting a little queasy. I think everything had. Well, the big move wasn't what I did today. The big move was what I did on Liberation Day.
Welcome back, and welcome to the Perseverance Mindset Podcast. I am your host, John Zazura. As always, we're coming to you live from the famous Dialogue Den, where we speak truth, we challenge fear, and stand for the strength of American spirit and American grit. Hope you're enjoying your weekend and your evening with us. Thank you for joining. Now, today we are extending this episode out in tandem to episode 20. So this will be episode 21. We're diving into one of the boldest economic plays in recent U.S. history. As everyone knows, President Trump just announced a 90-day pause on new tariffs against China. Can't talk about the country too much. Can't talk about it too little. It's at the forefront of all these developments that are happening every day consistently. And the implications could shift the future of global power in the world, not just in the United States, but also the world. And we're so excited to bring this to the forefront to all of our perseverance pioneers today. This move, it's not about weakness, it's about strategy. It's about preserving American strength while forcing the world to play fair. As of many of our listeners out there say that the world's already been playing fair. Well, many of us don't agree. Many people have differing opinions on that. So we want to bring it to the forefront of our show tonight. And what does this 90-day pause mean? So how American businesses and voters are influencing this very moment, and why this could go down as either a masterstroke in leadership on behalf of President Trump, or it could go down as a massive risk that derails a presidency. So let's dive into what this could be a tipping point into the U.S. and the China trade war. So just like it looked when the tariffs were about to hit another wave, President Trump hit the pause button and said, we have to pause. I believe in the policy and what I'm trying to do, but we have to hit the pause. So for 90 days, no new tariffs to be imposed, but they will be imposed on Chinese imports, at least not the ones outside of national security concerns. And this move gives both sides, America, China, a moment to breathe, rethink, and negotiate, which is what everyone is calling for at this point. So this move, in addition to giving people a moment to breathe, rethink, now some are calling it a massive gamble. We've already seen the massive consequences it's had on the U.S. economy and world economies, and to mention the Chinese economy, because there's just so much uncertainty out there. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But during this time, let's be clear, this is the reason why President Trump was put into the position he is. This is Trump's wheelhouse, making deals, playing the game, getting to the next level of getting leaders to sit down and talk and to work things out. As a businessman, he said it for decades. The U.S. clearly is being ripped off. We're doing all the buying, and China's doing all the selling. I don't think there's much disagreement in the world today about that. Whether that's good, bad, positive, negative, that's what's to be debated. And we want to bring this to the forefront in our episode this evening. And you know what? Millions of Americans are now agreeing with that. We need to harden our tone on China. It means we're giving China one last chance to play fair or face the full force of American trade power. And I know many listening right now, we can't afford to do that. We can't afford not to do that, to be honest, in my opinion. Now, this moment could definitely define a legacy. We've seen presidents make bold moves before. This is the time that try men's souls. Economic plays since Lincoln's tariff push in the 1860s or the Industrial Revolution boom in the 1890s, which keeps being reflected and the president keeps talking about this. This 90-day pause creates a narrow bridge. I don't know if it can get any narrower than it is right now. You know, those toll bridges where it just fits one car and one car has to wait. We're on that. But this bridge is rickety, rockety, and the bridge was probably built the last time that U.S. tariffs were fully implemented. Not as a knock on industrial, but this is where we are. And this 90-day pause creates just time to rethink. And if China walks across toward a real trade reform, Trump's move can go down in history as a masterclass in negotiation. If they stall, delay, or deceive, he hits them harder. Shows them that the world and America isn't afraid to lead with muscle and conviction, but what will be the result and the action of those actions. This moment is not about economic independence. It's not about global respect. It's about sticking to your convictions, which the president has had these convictions for years and decades. No matter how it plays out, Trump has shown that he's willing to put his presidency on the line. And I don't know about you, but if someone was so uncertain about their abilities to do what needs to be done, I wouldn't be putting my president on the line. And so many people are out there thinking the same thing. Now, with this total uncertainty out there, it's got a lot of people worried, even myself, my neighbors, local businesses, small businesses. Everybody just doesn't know what's going to happen. Before the 90-day pause, stocks plunged. So many negative things are coming out. Supporters of the president were speaking out. It's just been insane. It's just the past 3 or 4 days of just red, red, red. 90-day pause gets implemented, full green. As I can see on my screen, I could put that on the screen here. Just see it up and down. Green, 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 green. Apple, NASDAQ, Dow, green, lit up. Because if we are willing to work with other nations and make trade deals and negotiate, what is the unlimited potential of that? So let's talk about the real engine behind this 90-day pause, and that's the American people. The pressure at home, it's real, it's rising. This move didn't come out of thin air. It came after mounting economic tension, outcries from many industry leaders, and led to millions of America are sick of funding their own decline. So let's break that down. A lot of this came from corporate pressure, from boardrooms to the supply chain. Major U.S. corporations, and many may know this, tech, auto, agriculture, have been hammered by unpredictable costs, disrupted logistics, inflation that's biting into American wallets. It's not biting, it's burning into American wallets. When you open your wallet, it's just, there's a hole in the bottom because whatever you put in just falls right out and goes to the extra added cost. Companies like Apple are warning that tariffs can further derail launches and raise the price of the iPhone and their technology. Small businesses are shouting for help, saying, we can't afford any more raising in costs or we'll go out of business. And to be honest, they have the more logistic argument, more real. We can't survive if our materials double, triple, quadruple in cost. And farmers are already dealing with weather, now forced to manage international retaliation. This 90-day pause is not a retreat. Again, it's a message to what the intended goal is. We hear you, we'll adapt as the situation progresses, and we fight smart. And we have to continue to believe in those convictions and push on. But here's the bombshell. And if anybody's on this podcast and they're truly interested in this stuff, we have to discuss it. Our show is about perseverance. We talk about health, wellness, tech, finance, interesting topics that will get people to engage in our dialogue, in our famous dialogue den. But here's the bombshell. Right now, with the U.S. debt being trillions indebted to China, we are paying tens of millions of dollars every year in interest to the Chinese Communist Party. Look it up. It's not a lie. Tens of millions of dollars to China. That's right. I encourage anybody listening, look it up. The U.S. borrows money to fund our government and those programs. And China owns a massive portion of that debt. There's no way around it. Sorry out there if this is breaking anybody's hearts, but this is known. This is a known thing. And if you're not aware of this, please look it up. So while we're arguing over tariffs, debating fair trade, and building our next generation of technology, China is collecting our interest and funneling into their military, their cyber operations, and their global infrastructure push. The more we are behind and focus on all this domestic disruption, it only makes China stronger. But we have to acknowledge that and push back and change things drastically. And again, that's why I feel here on with the Perseverance Mindset podcast, our discussions and dialogue mean a lot, just to get information out there. Whether you agree with us or not, we're glad you're listening. But we're literally funding the rise of our greatest competitor. It doesn't make sense. And folks, it's catching up to us. It's catching up to us fast. For decades, previous administrations, previous presidents, finally somebody's taking a stand to it. And I applaud the president for taking a stand. It's not easy. Who else would have done it? People have talked about it. It's been talked about it for years, decades of the administration. Finally, somebody's doing something about it. And we're just not in a trade war. We're in a financial cold war. and I want to coin that phrase here. We're in a financial Cold War, and that war is being paid for by American taxpayers, American businesses, and future generations. And going on and continuing this with, other elections coming up. And I know we just had a massive presidential election. And I'll be like, John, we don't want to talk about elections. I understand, I know, but this is weighing in on everything that's happening now. Like the midterms on the horizon, Trump and lawmakers across the aisle. This just isn't about trade, it's about trust. American families watching their budgets stretch thinner. Voters keep asking, where is our leadership? Where does it feel like China keeps winning while we keep paying? And Trump's pause is timed. It's smart, and it's just the right thing to do. But it's also a chance to recalibrate, to pivot with strength, to show America still puts its people first. Again, one of the main reasons President Trump won the election, fair and square, all the swing states. And here's the wild card for you. When Americans feel uncertain, they pull back. When they feel hope, they invest, they build, and they grow. They're more confident. Right now, the economy is a reflection of how we feel and how we perceive leadership. And this 90-day pause is a confidence maneuver, another pivot. It says we're in control, we're not rushing, we're calculating, but we're not afraid. But we have to stick to our guns. And again, the bottom line in all this isn't just a trade strategy. It's a defense strategy, a moral strategy, a sovereignty strategy. Because the longer we fund China's ambitions through weak trade, ballooning debt, and complacency, the harder it's going to be to come back from this hole, to come back from this deficit, to come back from these trillions. But not anymore. Many voters, such as many of us here at the Perseverance Mindset podcast, voted for different things. We wanted to see a change. Trump's move signals something new. America is done funding our enemies and done being quiet. We voted for change, massive change, to change things up, to change the trajectory. And, what does this mean for all of us? So all this trade talk, this tariff talk, the economy, stocks, bonds, ETFs, it's like, listen, I don't know about any of that, John. So what does this mean for me? Let's get personal. So here's what this 90-day pause might mean for you. No immediate price hikes on laptops, phones, or household goods just yet. Let's hope it stays that way. Short-term relief at stores. We've heard the price of eggs are dropping. We've heard the price of gas, again, coming to the summer, and it's also going lower than it has in the past 4 years. And a chance for job creators to stabilize hiring and reinvest in American production. With all these tariffs talks coming, will factories start to pull and invest in the U.S. and start building those factories? We've already seen the investments coming. Now it's time to see the actions. But also, there's a lot of uncertainty. With the uncertainty is a fragile sense of economic peace. If China stalls, expect a reset of some sort. I'm not sure what that can mean. Again, people having investment hesitation because the big players are unsure of what comes next. This isn't the finish line. It's the eye of the storm. If this was a hurricane, we are directly in the eye of the storm. Are we out of the waters? Are we in calmer waters? No, by no chance. But we're on the track to help us get there, to reset all of this. The world is watching. I can't say it enough. The world is watching, and watching this play unfold. Make no mistake. They're watching America for leadership. China, they're calculating, they're testing, waiting to see if we blink. But other nations, as we see, they're looking to us for leadership. Europe, India, Australia, they know when America leads with purpose, the world becomes more stable. And I know certain folks will say, the world's in chaos, we're the laughing stock. Say what you want, but this was voted for. This is what the change is. And when we hesitate, global uncertainty rises. So we need to say what we're going to do, act on what we're going to do, and follow through. That's why this 90-day pause isn't just about us. It's about the global community. It's about the world, about us doing what's best for our people in America's interest. And I just want to throw a final thought out there. This moment, this trade war, isn't just a fight over, right now, economics, trade balances, trade imbalances. I believe it's a fight over who shapes the future. I believe America still holds the advantage. We are that shining city on a hill. Our innovation, our entrepreneurs, our democratic republic, our accountability, and our refusal to fold when the pressure rises, when the pot is boiling. What do? Trump's pause is bold, and it's very risky. If it works out, it'll be one of the boldest moves made in this century. Be one of the boldest moves made in recent memory. Not in the last 50 years, the next 100 years, 200 years. And, I want to say this out there, but boldness built this country. Boldness won our independence from the crown. Boldness forged our industry of steel, manufacturing, and by God, boldness, we all hope will extend us and America into this new golden age. Now is the time for us to reshape our global standing once again. And if you like this episode, and as we mentioned before, we're going to be here to walk through any more of the upcoming developments with this trade war we are currently in. Thanks for joining us from all of us here at the Perseverance Mindset Podcast and coming live to you right from the Dialogue Den. Leave us a comment below. Subscribe to our channel. Share this with somebody that you would like to have this information. Do you think the 90-day pause is a power play, or do you just think it's political banter or theater and we're just getting tossed around and nobody really is listening again? Let us know. Tag us, review us, share this episode. Until next time, stay sharp, stay proud, and never stop believing in America and the power of perseverance. Thank you, good night, and God bless.